Well, thank you very much. Shalom. Greetings to you all. And I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to Brett. I know every year I'd say I'd love to see you, to celebrate your birthday with you, but I never do seem to make it. And I am sorry, I hope, and I am sure that it was great. And this year, she got to share it with Israel, because it was Israel's birthday. Now, this week, as we all know, was Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day, Israel's birthday. Officially May 14th, 1948. So next year, it's coming up on the big 7-0. But in the Hebrew calendar, it's the 5th of Iyar, which most of us would not actually know when Iyar is or what Iyar represents. Now, sometimes it's in May, and sometimes it's in April. Next year it is on April 19th. But regardless of when it is, happy birthday to you both. And it represents a month of healing. So take the month to heal everything in your life that needs healing, body, spirit, and soul, for anybody whose birthday is in Iyar, or for everybody anyhow, because every month provides you the energy to do these things. And celebrations are when communities do come together to honor and celebrate the events in each other's lives. We are community together. Community strengthens and unifies us and enhances and strengthens all of us together. So remember that it is only our fear that drives us deeper into restrictive, painful ego states and away from a direct experience of true nature, which is a nature of kindness, compassion, an energy of sharing of thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and wishes that unites this great fellowship of soul searchers coming together every week in this community house of Spirit Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody that you know, physically or spiritually, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Manai, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, community, community together. So, of course, as a community, we wish you both a wonderful year. Now, last week, we learned all about the two major conditions which mark really the rest of the Torah. Tameh, impure, and tahor, pure. And they will come up again today, as they will almost every week from here on in. And this week we have another two-part parsha presentation, my friends. And interestingly, these are ones that go together unlike any other two-part reading, creating a very powerful image. Now, they, of course, have nothing to do with each other. And the Torah was not written with chapter titles in mind, but this week's two chapter titles really do strike a chord. This week we have acharei, mot, after death, and kedushim, holy. And when put together, the title tells us what we do. After someone's death, we beatify them. We raise them to special levels in order to honor them, to talk about them. Now, that does not mean they're not deserving, but it's a great commentary on human behavior. Instead, why not show them honor, decency, respect, admiration while they are alive? Let them know what they mean, on an ongoing basis. There was a man named Mahatma Gandhi. He would not bow down. He would not fight. He knew the deal was down and dirty, and nothing wrong could make it right away. But he knew his duty and the price he had to pay. Just another holy man who dared to make a stand. My God, they killed him. That's about an individual. We assign holiness to individuals, but not as this parsha lays out. This parsha tells us to assign holiness to a community. Not to an individual, but to all of mankind. Now, acharei mot, the first of them, takes up after the death of Aaron's sons that we saw when they got incinerated for the fire. And it concerns itself with a very strange run of items. From the tabernacle on the Day of Atonement, which is very important, to specific sexual relations, and then kedushim, as its name suggests, is all about holiness, and holiness, just like we saw last week with menstruation and leprosy, is about conditions. Holiness is seen as a condition, whether physical or social. But no matter what, it all has spiritual ramifications. I pushed my soul in a deep dark hole, and I followed it in. I met myself crawling after as I was crawling in. I tripped on a cloud, I fell 8 miles high, tore my mind on a jagged sky. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. The conditions of life, my friends. Now, that was the great Mickey Newbury classic. Boy, I remember that one. Now, this is a special parsha to me because it was the wedding parsha of Noah and Hallie. Beautiful couple, growing in life and learning and demonstrating the legacy of parents, instilling the best hopes of humanity and decency and care and love in their children. So even though all we're doing is reading about separation and division, we're reminded about holiness, and we're all still brought together by events that can affect any one of us. And as a community, we join to send goodwill and healing to those in need. So let's send some special energy right now out to Rosemary, to Luria, to Gab. Lost 2 very close friends this week, to Shoshana bat Rachel, Sarah bat Miriam, and my good friend Marvin, Mordechai ben Yita. Friends, it is the interconnected energy that unites us and heals us. So in this special month of healing, let's send out healing energy to all who need it, and think of those you know. For them, for everyone, for all of you, for love, for renewal, the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, the love you send out circles the world, finding those in need, people you don't even know in need. So thank you, each and every one of you. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Let us all have our spirits renewed, every one of us everywhere. So the first of these 2 parshas introduced us to some very interesting things. And in Leviticus 16:1, it gives us an incredible summary of the most fascinating of all of the biblical rituals, the one performed once per year on the Day of Atonement, the selection of the goats, one for the Lord and one for Azazel. Now, the drawing of lots. Now, lots are used frequently in the Tanakh. In some cases, they're understood to reflect divine determination, and in some they are not. But in every instance, they reflect the hand of God. And speaking of which, living in the Northeast, you sometimes find gloves, like orphan socks in a washing machine. And when I find one or see one, my wife always refers to it as the hand of God pointing to something. Leviticus 16:8, and he shall take 2 goats, and set them before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and he shall put lots on the 2 goats, one for the Lord, one for Azazel. And Aaron shall bring forward the goat for which the lot for the Lord comes up, and he shall make it an offense offering. And the goat for which the lot for Azazel comes up shall be set live before the Lord to atone upon it, to send it off to Azazel in the wilderness. So Aaron lays his 2 hands on the live goat's head and confesses over it all the crimes of the children of Israel and all their offenses for all of their sins, and puts them on the goat's head and lets it go by the hand of an appointed man to the wilderness. Leviticus 16:22. And the goat will carry all their crimes on it to an inaccessible land, and he shall let the goat go in the wilderness. Now, ancient seals show us that the Hebrew letter lamed, meaning for or on behalf of, was often used with proper names denoting possession. So these words then are the actual text that would have been written on the two lots. In the Hebrew, each is a single word, le Adonai and la Azazel. Now, much ink throughout history has been spilled over the identity of Azazel. The best answer as to who this is we do not know. There's no point in speculating. Now, the transference of sin and atonement complete. Now, what a service that is to see. I do not think that the ritual was designed between two competing deities, but instead was between two systems, a separation between God and the boundary of human civilization, and Azazel and the remote wilderness, the realm of disorder and raw formlessness. It's as though the goat piled with impurities were being sent back to the primordial realm of welter and waste before the delineated world came into being in the beginning. Now, here is where we learn that only Aaron, the high priest, can be in the presence of the ark, the Holy of Holies. Here the details of the sprinkling of the blood are given. It is a sacred zone, separate from the rest. And only on this most sacred day of the calendar is the high priest granted access to the dangerous space, and only when he follows a strict regimen of dress and action. And it shall be an eternal law for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th of the month, you shall degrade yourselves, and you shall not do any work, the citizen and the alien who resides among you. There, my friends, you have the complete instructions for that day. It is to be a ceasing, a Sabbath. Degrade yourself. The same word used in describing the treatment of Egypt over Israel. A later Jewish tradition would transform this ritual for the purgation of a physical pall of pollution into a process of spiritual repentance and atonement, which we still do to this day. But those are your full instructions. Now, lost in translation and in the description of this amazing ritual is actually a really beautiful piece. The rules about sacrifice and penalties for killing an animal outside of priestly purposes is all done to remind us of the sanctity of life. The passages discuss the slaughtering of an animal, but the text speaks of it as an equivalent of murdering a human. Leviticus 17:11, because the flesh's life is in the blood, and I have given it to you on the altar to make atonement over your lives, because it is the blood that makes atonement for life. Now, these rules are all part of a larger picture of instruction, which lead to that special condition of being holy. Now, scholars since the 19th century have concluded that chapters 17 through 26 of this section constitute a very distinctive unit, separate from almost the rest of the Torah, conventionally designated the Holiness Code because of its concern with the idea that the entire people shall make itself holy. And it's really quite incredible because it includes most of the Ten Commandments in a slightly different fashion. Sacrifices, justice, caring for the poor, the infirm, treatment of women, of the elderly, food, magic, loving one's neighbor as oneself, loving an alien as oneself. If you had to choose only one chapter of the Torah to make known, it might well be this one. Now, there's also some strange laws listed here as well. Chapter 18 is a list of forbidden sexual relations, ones we still hold to this day, except maybe for royal families, and that in which the patriarchs were adherents to. So something strange happened. Now, either these laws represent a priestly reform in sexual practice, or certain once acceptable sexual unions had come through evolving social consensus, as happens, to be regarded as taboo. Now, of course, Leviticus 18:21 is one of the most quoted passages to discourage what is becoming acceptable and accepted relations in today's world. That's homosexuality. And with a male you shall not lie as one lies with a woman. It is an abhorrence. Now, interestingly, lesbianism, which would also have been known in the ancient Near East, is nowhere mentioned. But the reason for the omission remains unclear. Now, what is clear is that we are holy because God is. And we are created with and by God. And we are to honor, the archetype female, the archetype male, understanding and wisdom, and the law of ceasing, the law of imitatio Dei, the Sabbath. And a very special command is given to the people, one that the Torah turns on in many ways. Leviticus 19:18, and you shall love your neighbor, your fellow man, as yourself. The people of Israel here are commanded to love all human beings, not just their own people. No matter how one understands this term, this is an extraordinary law. Come on, people, now. Smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another right now. That's not such a bad idea, is it? And why this condition of holiness? Well, Leviticus 20:25 tells us, I am the Lord your God who set you apart from all the peoples. There's that separation again. And you shall set apart the clean from the unclean beast, and the unclean bird from the clean, and you shall not make yourselves despicable through beast and bird and all that crawls on the ground, which I set apart for you as unclean. And you shall be holy to me, for I, the Lord, am holy. Now, given that the Bible is for everyone, that God is the creator of all and the God of all, this is meant for all mankind. The rules of the Decalogue are for everyone. Holiness is for everyone. So where, my friends, did we go wrong? Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle. Make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light. Continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. This is a month for healing. To those you love, that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace. Keep working on manifesting your year of freedom, your new life, with all its new opportunities. Remember, we do set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You do have that knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be more forgiving and to be compassionate in life. Do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. Keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always there in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all peoples know peace in this year. Wouldn't that be nice? And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere in your life now. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in our consciousness and the ability to be present in all circumstances at all times. Make the most of your time in this life. Recognize your ability to be holy, to influence the lives around you. You actually do have all the ingredients. Whether you know it or not, you've got it all. When you're sad and when you're lonely and you haven't got a friend, just remember that death is not the end. And all that you held sacred falls down and does not bend. Just remember that death is not the end. Not the end. No, no, no. Not the end. No, no, no. Just remember that death is not the end. It's not the end, my friends. Stay holy. Keep seeking truth, freedom, sense of purpose. Now give love, my friends. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone is always there for you, whether you know it or not. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all, and happy birthday again, Brett. I'm sorry I missed it. Take care. Bye.